Right. Welcome, welcome. Blessed day each and everyone. All right, guys. Tonight topic is let's grow some food together. Are you guys interested in growing some food together? Are you willing to learn to grow some food or what? Hey Fifi, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on, sis? Happy Saturday to you. What's going on? Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Truly appreciate you guys. All right, guys, tonight we're gonna be talking about growing some food because yes, someone told me today the importance. Okay, doing great, lots of gardening. You're doing the right thing. Because now is the right time to put in the work in that garden. So in a couple months from now, you could just be relaxing and and harvesting. So yes, hope you're doing well. And yes, I'm doing pretty well. You know me again. I already put in some real work today. Some real garden work today. And while I'm there today, I'm saying, man, I'm putting in all this work. I'm just hoping that there's other people that doing this. Yes, I know that there's a lot of people that doing it, but I want to know, I mean, is there's any new people? Because I'm not really seeing too much gardening like basically like on how we used to see a lot of gardening on YouTube in the last 2 3 years. We see gardening, but I don't know. I think it's kind of shrink a little. I'm not seeing as much people like before. So I'm wondering, is people giving up? I'm hoping that they're not giving up. Because this gardening season, I think it's time to really get into the garden and push as much as you can and grow something. If you space is small, learn to grow something. Once you have the skill, it's always there and no one can take it away from you. So, yes, today was a very yes. So, I'm really hoping. Yes, I'm really hoping that this is not the case. I'm hoping that people did not get comfortable and just give up. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm actually hoping that people will be taking part and try to grow some food because this thing ain't no joke. We need to stay ready and keep planting. I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think for what we see in a few years ago, we should ever try to get comfortable. Hey, Goddy's Homestead, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, we should never get comfortable not trying to grow something. I don't know what is going on, but you know, on YouTube, the last 3 years, man, there was lots of gardeners, people posting videos, and I'm not seeing a lot of these people today. So I'm just hoping that they're still doing it and maybe they're not posting than to just give up growing food. We get into a place now where I think we really got more than ever, we need to get back into gardening and really grow some food. Hey, Cheryl Faulkner, how you doing? Thank you for being here, guys. All right. So I'm seeing gardeners. This is wonderful because, guys, I really want to see people grow something. I really want to see new gardeners learning to grow something. I mean, it's time for these things. I mean, we've been straight away from this thing for so long where we actually turn to the supermarket instead of our garden. Instead of able to walk out in the backyard and get some food, we jump and we take the bus or we drive, go to the supermarket and get food. I mean, we got to get back to that place where we actually could just put on our shoe and step outside and harvest something. Even if it's a few herbs, guys. Even if it's a few herbs, it's better than nothing. I understand the weather has been more and more challenging and more. And my hope is that people stay positive and not get frustrated. Yes, Fifi, yes, that's true. This year, the weather was very challenging, very, very challenging. And like you say, I hope people didn't give up because of that. Because at the end of the day, you got to eat, so you cannot give up growing food or even learning to grow food. I really think we got to get back into stay more positive and more focused on what we doing when come on food. We cannot give up. This thing ain't no joke. Look and see what's going on today and see if there's a place for you to give up. You got to try to be more as independent as possible. It's something hard to be, but if you 50% independence is better than none, that you got to depend on for everything. For your food, you got to depend on someone. For your gas, you got to depend on someone. For your water, you got to depend on someone. For your electricity, you got to depend on someone. You see the amount of thing. For your clothing, you got to depend on someone. For your shoes, you got to depend on. Do you see where we are today? I mean, think about it. Do you see where we are today? That we got to depend for everything we need. We got to look to someone for it. No, that's not independence. That's we depending. That we depending on people for everything we need. That's not, no, at least 50% independent is way better than nothing. Yes, 50% is absolutely, yeah, it's better than nothing because at least you have some sort of independence. Hey, Jim Mama Grows, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Yes, guys, because just look at the picture, guys. Just look at the picture where we depending for every aspect, every corner, every angle of our life. We depending on someone. I mean, look at it. Yes, in every angle, guys. In every angle, just like I now mentioned, your food, your medicine, your clothing, your shoes, your water, your electricity, your everything you think about, you depending on somebody for that. I mean, that's no, guys. And the way we see the world is heading for today, we absolutely got to be more independent. I'm not saying you're gonna be 100. That's not what I'm saying. But the more you could do for yourself and your family is the better for you. It will be better because I'm telling you. So if today something happened and they decide, okay, there's no electricity for a month, or no water coming through your pipe for a month, look the situation where you are. You at a situation where now you stun because you have no access to these things. If they say the supermarket is closed, no food, you have no access to these things. This is, I don't think this is any way for we to live. For real. That you got to turn to, you got to depend on people for everything. And once they turn that switch, you can't get it no more. And just like that. I mean, think about it, guys, and just look into it. Thank you guys for coming out tonight again. I appreciate you guys. Yes, guys. So tonight our topic is mostly basic and let's go together. Let's go some food together. At least I can encourage people to at least grow some food. Let's grow some food together. I'm sure there's someone else will able to encourage people to do something else. But I'm gonna focus on let's grow some food together. Food is something that we need, and we basically can't do without it. We can't live without it. We only could live a portion of time without food. So food is very important to us, something that we need. Even the herbs is very important to us, something that we need as well. Not want, need. So by we trying to grow our own little food in our garden, our own little herbs in our garden, you know that we could make our own tea. You know, now we have plants that produce their leaf is so sweet that you could use the leaf and make sugar. So if one day if you use sugar and you don't have no sugar, you could actually take this plant, take the leaf and add into your tea. So you know what I mean? So I think we should really get into these things. My calancho and thyme are flowering. Oh really? Oh okay. Well, so you could get some seed. Okay. Wow. That pretty early. Well, at least you're able to get some seed from that Jumama. Okay, all right. And you still, to me, if you okay, say for instance you want more out of it, instead I just start producing seeds. Sometimes what I does do, I just cut off the whole top where it start producing the flowers and they shoot up more again. So you could look into that if you don't ready for for seeds. Okay? But yes, guys, when we consider what is really going on today and the importance of being independent in some form of the other, you know, nobody say you can't go to the supermarket. You see, but if you able to go to the supermarket less than usual, at least you're able to save some money and you some form of independent at the same time. Oh, okay. You never see the flowers? Okay, yeah, they do flowers. I have sometimes they push out some white flowers. I'm not sure if that's the same kind, but sometimes they do push out some white flowers. Okay, that's wonderful. That's what about gardening. You always learn something. And the good thing about sweet stevia is that it doesn't have to go through any type of. That's what I'm talking about, Fifi. That's what I'm talking about. So now because when I realize the sweet stevia is a plant that produces such a sweet, like a sweetener, I realize, okay, this is sugar right here. So now when you make in your tea, you could add a few leaf into sweet stevia. And the good thing about sweet stevia as well, you could split the root and transplant them. Like if you have one plant, you could just take a knife and run it down through the root and transplant it. So now you have 2, 3, 4, 5 plants from one plant. So this is this is very important thing. And like Fifi say, it ain't gotta go through no kind of process. It's just the leaf. You grow it, and then the leaf, you pick them and add them to your tea. So this is a very important plant that if you as a parcel, always leaving the door open. Sorry. If you as a parcel that just can't do without your tea, you should definitely plant stevia. Yes, you should definitely plant stevia. Hey, Urban Gardening, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Let me see. Yes, indeed. Seeds. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me see. I have seeds. My time flowers. Do they make seed pod or do I cut off the flowers? Well, what I just do, yeah, they do make seed pod, but you know the seed is very fine, real fine. But what I just do, when I start seeing the flowers and I know I ain't ready for no seed, I cut off the top where all the flowers is, and then it's gonna start push up fresh ones. That's what I do. Hey, Pescatarian Garden, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Yes, guys. So sweet stevia. Well, I'm sure many people up in here know about sweet stevia. Sweet stevia. I'm sure many people know about it, and I'm sure many people could say something about sweet stevia. It's a plant that produces a sweet leaf, and that's what I replace sugar with. Sweet, yes, it helps. Like if you like sugar, if you can't drink your tea without sugar, you could use the leaf. So that's a very good plant to really have your smoothies. If you like, and you're doing smoothies, depends on the type of smoothie you want. You need a little sweetener, you add a few leaf inside it. So I put an organized bag over it to save the seed when it right, makes sense. Makes sense. Because you got to save your seed, guys. You got to save your seed. I don't know. What I did, how I find that plant is I buy the plant. I see the plant, and someone tell me, man, you should buy this plant. I say, why? And they say, this plant, the leaf is sweet. So I buy the plant itself. And last year, I think, and what I do, I bring it, is a good thing I bring it indoors over the winter, right? And when I bring it indoors, I bring it back out in the early spring. And I realize it start growing nice. And then I start to cut up the root. And now I have 5 plants growing now from one. So that's a good idea. But always remember, I don't think they could stand cold weather. I don't think so. So you should have one in a container. If you do in-ground, make sure you have one in a container that you could take it indoor and bring it back out in the spring and cut it up again and transplant it. So you could be able to harvest more and more during out, so you have to last you through the winter. Atlanta Garden TV Is Monday too late to upload my hub update? Yes, yes, yes. Listen me. The rules was you have to update on the 25th and the 5th. To compete to win, you got to follow the rules. You got to follow the rules. You have to compete. You have to upload on the 25th and the 5th of every month. The 25th and the 5th of every month. You see what I'm saying? That qualify you for winning one of the three prize. All right? Your mama will check out, baby. Okay, all right. If you don't sound like okay. Okay. Yes, so Sweet Stevia is a very interesting plan. I believe that people should be growing because it's called help eliminate sugar. You know, it's gonna help eliminate the sugar. So it's a good plan. But guys, like I was saying, if we growing food together, right? We want to grow food together. And the most I can do is try to share some of what I believe can help a person in times where if situation occur, they could still able to survive, strive, right? Like I always mention, please grow some food that you don't need to put in the refrigerator to keep them. Grow food that you can put in a box or in an area and they could last for months. Which a lot of squash do that. Butternut squash is a wonderful butternut squash, spaghetti squash. Them kind of squash could last a pretty long time. Pumpkin. I know you got to have a big space for pumpkin, but guys, do what you got to do that you could store food in case you have no electricity or your fridge broke down, you still able to have food. Okay? So my stevia is growing seed. Okay. I will be saving a lot of stevia seed again this year. I was able to germinate a few seeds from last year plant. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna do that myself. I think I'm gonna do that myself. Is anyone in here basil? Not basil, sage start pushing out blossom? Has anyone growing sage that also pushing out blossom? I have a sage that push out purple flowers and pushing out seed right now. So my thing is leaving it to drop the seed them and just let them start grow back up, because the good thing about it, sage could last through the winter. So what you guys growing this year, guys? What name a few things that you guys growing this year? Just a few things. You ain't gotta go too deep. Just a few things that you guys actually growing this year. And if you're growing something that you never grow before and you're so excited to see it grow, you could name that plant as well. My sage is pushing out purple. Okay, all right. Okay, okay, I'm Jimaba. Yes, mine is pushing out purple too. Beautiful flowers. And I planted them from seed last year, but I never know. They used to push out, they reseed and push out flowers. And this year, man, if you see how they're beautiful. Hey, F.R. Humphrey, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Can you do a video showing how to get seed? Okay, all right. The seed variety I've had for 5 years have never went to flowers, but I found a seed pack that show that variety goes to flowers. Okay, all right. I think it's interesting to have one of them sage as well, because we all know sage receive their own self. They push out, well, not all of them, mightn't be all of them. Well, not for what I see. But this one, it actually push out its own seed. And guys, sage could take the cold weather. So I really think sage is a herb you should always have. And in the winter, maybe you could throw some dry leaf around the root and just leave it there. So you ain't got to worry about planting it the following year. Sage also is another plant you could bust down the root and separate it into several different plants. So that's a good idea. That's something good you could start doing with your plants to get more out of one. So within that growing season, you have more plants to harvest from. Even though they mightn't come back through the winter, all you make sure you do, you take one, put it in a pot, and take it indoors. When you bring it back out in the winter, in the spring, you separate, you multiply it again. Because you know you have a short growing season and you got to see how much you can harvest within that time. Let it go to seed until it turns brown and collect it. Okay, all right. So, okay, time. Okay, easy. Okay, all right. I'm excited about my berries this season. I'm growing the Justa berry and white imperial currant. I also just planted some pink currants to go with. Oh wow, to go with that one. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And the thing about the I don't think I know that one, G Mama. I don't think I know that berry. I think I might just look it up, but I don't think I know that one. I might just look that one up. That's good, man. At least you grade something, you excited. Listen to me. Every year, I think every year, people should actually add something. Think about it. Like no, for next year, you should be thinking about a plant that you want to grow next year that you never grew before. And think about it and try to get it. I'm telling you, you will feel so blessed when you find that plant, put it in the garden and watch it growing. That will give you some real, you will be so excited just waiting to see this plant go. Maybe that might give people more courage sometimes. You see, gardening, you got to plan ahead with gardening. And the more you plan ahead, the more excited you get. The more you look forward to the garden season. Do something that's gonna drive you to want to do gardening for the next season. Figure out what could give you that drive. Thinking about a plan could give you that drive. It could get you, pushing you. You searching for a plan. Don't get discouraged. Yes, no, she could upload. It's just for the winning prize. That's basically what I'm saying. She still could upload because somebody could learn from the video, but for winning, it's too late for winning, but you still could upload a video. Yes. Raspberry is a blackberry cross of gooseberry and currants. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a cross. Okay, thank you. Besides vegetables, I'm growing a lot of different fruit. Even though they did not produce for a couple years, it's an investment and a way to secure my food. Definitely. You see, that's the thing. That it doesn't mean because they did not produce, next spring is right around the corner. Next spring is right around the corner. So by the time you win, it's almost time to eat again, harvest fruits time again, springtime to grow. So I believe fruit trees is a beautiful investment. I believe berries, I believe apple, peach, plum. I believe these are very good investment because they come back every year. So you buy them once and they come back every year. It's a beautiful investment. It is a beautiful investment. Yes, I agree. It is a beautiful investment. And sometimes, yes, we should do that. We should take the time out and invest in a fruit tree. Just go outside shopping and just say, you know what, let me shop for fruit tree today. And just put it in the ground. One day, you'll be eating from this fruit tree. You put it in the ground, you take care of it, you must take care of it. You put it in the ground, you take care of it, and one day you will be eating fruit from from your plants. So that's a good way. There's a lot of flowers out there. There's a lot of flowers out there that you can grow as well. A lot of people like flowers. They like the beauty of the flowers. So what you can do, you can buy herbs that produce flowers because there's a lot of herbs out there that you could use the flowers and make tea. So do your research. You have cornflower. That's a plant. You have a beautiful flowers, but you could use that and make tea. You could use as much as dandelion grow wild. Yes, you could put a couple in your garden and let them grow. That's tea right there. And they push out these beautiful flowers as well. So if you really love to see the beauty of flowers, I think investing in flowers that you can use as herbs is a good investment as well. Definitely, yes. I still want a plum and cherry bush too. Okay, all right, do what you gotta do. Get them food in the ground, you see? Because all this is what gonna give you some sort of independence. This is what gonna give you some sort of independence. Meaning your fruit tree is producing, you could pick your fruits them. If you don't want to leave them to ripe on the tree, you could pick them, you could bring them indoors and write them, and that's yours. You ain't gotta go and buy them. This is what you go, this is yours. Your herbs, your mint, your sweet stevia, your whatever you growing, that's saving you from going and buy tea bags. That's another form of independence. So yes, we know it might be difficult for water, but at least if you got to go buy the water, at least you still have some form of independence with, okay, I ain't got to buy no tea bags. I ain't got to buy no sweetener for my tea because sweet stevia is right here. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Hey, Brook Farmer, how you doing, man? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Yes. So my thing is, let's grow together. Let's grow some food. Let's encourage people. Let's motivate people. You see what I'm saying? Let's encourage each other to actually get into the garden. If we have people and they get discouraged in some form of the other, let's encourage them. No, because listen, me guys, gardening is very challenging at times. This year, the weather was a kind of challenging, but at the same time, you cannot make that discourage you. You cannot make the challenge break you, because if you allow the challenge to break you, then what? Anything else could break you. You got to be strong. You got to be strong minded. Sometimes you could be growing a plant and the plant ain't doing well, or it might be growing fast, or you might just lose the plant. Don't get discouraged about that. Yes, it could be devastated sometimes. It could be stressful sometimes, but don't let that get to you. If you're growing peppers or okras or watermelon, whatever you're growing, and it ain't doing well, get something else or get another one. Don't focus on that plant that passed, that gone. Focus on getting something else. You don't have time. You don't have the time to be focusing on a plant that don't pass. Focusing on bringing in something. Your garden season is short. We got to remember this. Try to grow as much as you can. Now is the time to put as much food as you can in the ground. Now is the time. If you put food in the ground now, certain food you could harvest, then you have short crop. You have a lot of short crop, and this is something you got to look into as well. You see, gardening is something, yes, some people might say complicated, some people might say it's not. But you got to do some thinking in gardening, because especially you have a short growing season, right? Your growing season is really short. You got to study plants that you can get a crop from, pull them out, replant something else to get another crop from that plant. You see, like for instance, I have garlic right now, and I still feel I should leave my garlic for another 2 weeks. But I just feel like I need to get rid of this garlic now and plant something else. Because that area there, I could lego some pumpkin and squash running down that area with a garlic them on. So instead of me saying, all right, I'm gonna leave them for another 2 weeks. No, I'm gonna take them out and replant something that, you see what I'm saying? So I can get another crop. Once your growing season is short, you have to think about how you planting, what you planting. And this could help you to get a lot of food during that season. And believe it or not, you could grow a lot of food in a small space. Yeah, if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you can grow a lot of food in a small space. Hey Sandra, living a full life, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Okay, let me see. I agree. I only go multi-purpose plant. Yes, it makes sense. It really makes sense. Okay, guys, please don't forget to give. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Fifi. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've sold my buckwheat 3 times because of the weather. Weather was really challenging this year. I agree with that. That weather will make you start praying to the weather God. Yeah. All year this year, right? All year up in the year, a serious piece of cold weather passed by. And I lose every plum I had on my tree. I lose all the plum. And I lose as 75% of that peach was on the tree. I lose everything. And in them time, the peach them was really little and the plum was really little. I never went through that before. So that's why I'm saying this year was very, very challenging when come on gardening. Yeah. When come on the weather. Yeah. For real, the weather test me. I bought my peaches. Yeah, I understand. I lose all my peaches, everything. I'm well. No problem. You have thank you for being here. Hey, that X, what's going on, man? What's going on? We have. Oh wow. So, oh man, that's what I'm saying, man. This year was very challenging. But you see, like I always say, right? I learned so much from gardening, and I never stop learning. I always say that. Never, and I always say I learn something new every day in the garden, and it's for real. You know, sometimes we have plants and we want to bring another plant. So what we do, we cut the limb and we try to root them. We try to root the plant. But sometimes you could actually, not all the time, some of the time. Sometimes we cut limbs and we spare it to try root it. Sometimes you could actually go to the root of the plant. You could naturally go to the root of the plant and find limbs with root that you could just cut it off. So it already root already. You see what I'm saying? I was thinking about multiplying my fig tree, and something tell me to start digging the root. And while I'm digging the root, I'm seeing the limb them that push up have root on top of them. So all I had was to do is cut it and plant it because it already have root. So that's something to look into. I'm not saying it happened to every plant, but it's a way that you could look in and see without you got to fight to try to root them. Sometimes there's limb down there that have roots. So look into that. Hi, John Struth, 67, how you doing? Thank you for being here. All right. Okay, did I welcome everyone? All right. If I did not welcome everyone to the topics tonight is let's grow together. Let's grow some food together. Let's talk about some food and food that we should be growing that can make a lot of sense. That food that can store without you need a refrigerator. Yeah. My dwarf peach is loaded. Last year we had 3 months of drought. It rained and peaches split. Oh wow. So I'm going to babysit peach. Well, man, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep them thing going. Because at the end of the day, you trying to eat. Because I'm sure fruits is getting expensive, just as any other food. Everything is getting expensive. So my thing is invest. Do some investing into fruit trees. And guys, when you grow your squash, you scrape out. When you're eating your squash, you scrape out your seed, dry them, and put them away. Instead of you just scrape them in the garbage, dry them and put them away. So you have seed for next year. And especially, like you grow a really nice plant, don't throw that seed. You make sure you save that seed from that plant. So it's like prepare yourself. Even though we in this year, you should be start preparing yourself and your mind for next year. So when that time come, you already prepare. You know what you planting. You know how you plan to set up everything. You just doing your stuff, you know. I'm heavily invested in fruit tree. Yes, I know you love your fruit tree, Brook Farmer. I know that. I think, and I ain't give you wrong. I'm telling you the truth. I really ain't give you wrong. I don't. It is a good investment. It is a good investment. And the good thing about it is they come back every year. You ain't got to go rebuy the same plant you buy. They come back. So it is a good investment. Definitely a good investment. I agree with you. You know, I myself start to invest in fruit trees myself. You know, I'm always into my vet. You know, I had my peach tree, I had my plum, I had my apple. But now I invest into a cherry tree. I invest into a peach tree. I invest in, I'm investing as well. And I'm also, I invest in banana trees as well. So yes, fruits. You should invest in fruit trees because they come back every year. At least if I plant out these fruits, all I have to do is take care of them. They're gonna come back. So you ain't got to worry about that. That investment is there. It is a good investment. And your herbs, guys, try to get seeds from your herbs them as well. You know what I mean? What I do, let me tell you what I do sometimes with certain plants. Because once they start flowers, some of them, once they start flowers to the top, I will only pick the leaf. I wouldn't cut the limb. I will just pick the leaf. So I'm leaving this limb with that flowers for the seed to mature. So what I do, I pick out the leaf them single. I mean, it take more time, but at the end of the day, it's a good way to save seed, to get your seed to mature. Because if you cut that limb, you see what I'm saying? That plant will have to generate itself and push back up that limb to produce flowers again. So what I do, I leave the limb, I don't cut it, I just pick them off. Like my sage, I don't cut the top. I just pick off the leaf so that seed could get to mature. That's a good way as well. That's one way. I rather use the grape cuttings from an established grapevine, but I also think a great idea. So save some grape seed just in case. Just in case, because you never know. You never know. You might be able to get access to a grapevines, but if you have the seed, you could still do your own stuff. But wait, who sell grape seeds? I can't remember seeing anyone selling grape seeds. Maybe I never pay no attention. But my grapevine, you know what? I had a well-established grape plant growing up in a tree. And every year I'm looking at this thing loaded with grapes, but I cannot get none because what I believe happened, because there's a lot of vines run up in the tree as well, a big tall tree. So I believe when the rain beat through these vines and come down, I believe it was licking off the grapes then. So I rewrote it, and my goodness, they're doing pretty well right now. So I'm just being focused now and paying attention to harvest some grape. Oh, okay. Brooke Farmer says saw that video. Yes, It's a well-established grapevines, but it was up in a tree. Every year this thing producing so much, but I can't get none. So now I reroute it, man. If you see how this thing loaded, but I still keeping my fingers crossed that it could hold these grapes on that I can. Man, if you see grapes, this thing pushing out. And I create a trail. Now I had also extend the trail today. I had also extend it because the thing is running like crazy. So I'm hoping this year I will be able to get some grapes from that. So yes, guys, invest in your little fruits trees. It's will especially they come back every year. So you ain't got to focus on fruits. All you got to do focus on now on your carrots, your squash, whatever you're growing. And at the same, you know, guys, don't you know? Don't you know every year, if I am by fruit trees, if I am by no fruit trees, or if I am by a plant I might see that I don't have and I see the seed, I will grow my garden without spending a dollar. And this is the honest truth. Without spending a dime. And this is what I've been trying to promote all the while. Save your seed. Learn to make your own compost. And you could produce a garden without spending a dollar. And able to harvest in abundance. Saving seed is important. If anyone find muscadine seed, let me know. Okay. I think my grape is muscadine. Someone tell me it's muscadine. The one I don't know. I really don't know, but someone tell me mine is muscadine. But I can't remember ever seeing anyone with like actually selling grape seed. I can't remember that. Hi Cassandra South Fulton, how you doing? Thank you for being here. So yes, guys, have any one of you have so far this year, have you went through any trials with your plants or your garden that this year that just make you want to see, that just make you want to give up? Has anyone went through that? Has anyone went through any situation with their plants this year that they just feel like give up or even give up? If you do, let me know. Because I know it can be very challenging in the garden. Yeah, I know. Very challenging. But just like life, you don't give up on life, you should not give up on your garden. The Japanese bees are back. I'm tired of them. Already. You know what, man? I saw one bee yesterday. Oh, and this is my first bee I saw this year. One bee yesterday, and I think it's the same bee I saw today again. So I know what you say. That Japanese bees are back. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Book Farmer. I know what you're saying. I know you're tired of them. Hmm. I'm fighting ants and hopping off my apple tree. I'm not giving up because I want apple. That's it. All right. That's it. Don't give up. A brook farmer, even though they're back, don't make them win you, man. Don't make them win you. You got to come out the winner, man. Most of my challenge came with seed starting. Okay. Most of your challenge come with seed starting. Well, I understand because seeding, listen, seed starting from seed is not easy. I know, especially when you start early. Like when you start early and you got to take care of these seeds for 3 months, at least 3 months. That ain't easy. It's really not. But all you got to do is push through, push through. Some people, what I noticed? If some people growing seedlings, and they notice the seedlings is leggy, like the tall and leggy, people just pull them up and throw them away. And sometimes they even bend over. People pull them up and throw them away. No, you listen to me. All you got to get is some dirt and keep building around them. That's why, too, guys, when you're doing seedlings, right? Well, I want to say me. When you're doing seedlings, you have to make sure that your seedlings is a certain, it have room. Say you're doing it in a cup. Some people do seedling in a cup. If you're doing seedling in a cup, what I will do the seedling at least down in the cup, at least half of the cup, right? So when the seedlings start growing, even though they're leggy and the thing, you could be adding soil around them all that time till it reach up to the top. So all that time, it helps strengthening the plants and keeping them going. So instead of fold the cup and just chuck the seed on top, I think do it half the way so you could be adding soil while the seedling is growing. I have felt like giving up lately, but I'm fighting the thought and keep trying to grow. Please fight that thought because that's what happened is a thought. Give up. Then another one say no. It's a thought telling you cannot do it, you cannot make it, so just give it up and leave it alone. No, don't. Don't make that's why I asked this question. Because I want to know if there's anyone who going through that right now, so we can motivate you and tell you no, don't give up. You got to grow this food. You have to grow this food. Yep, leggy. I plant them same. No, 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 don't throw away leggy seedlings. Not at all. Not because they're leggy. Don't throw them away. Once they have a root, they could survive. Once they have a root, they could survive. Giving up on growing my own food is that's what you know what? That's what I train myself for years now. For years now, I'm saying in my garden, failure is not an option. I don't settle for failure in my garden. Not at all. I don't let nothing get to me that made me wanna give up. I don't let nothing get to me that made me say, man, you know what? I'm gonna just do it next year. No, I always put in my head. I always say in my head, failure is not an option. And I think we got to start to do this because once failure appear, you got to think about overcoming it. What am I gonna do to overcome this? What am I gonna do? Not to let failure keep you from growing your own food. It's not an option. Like Fifi say, it shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be an option. It was hard, but I wouldn't have it any other way. A lot died, but I gained valuable experience. Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. They die, but you gain valuable information and you know what to do and what not to do. So now next year you're in a better place. You see, you're more advanced. You have a whole year of teaching, of lessons. So now you're more advanced. You know next year what to do and what not to do. That's wonderful. Life has been keeping me out of my garden. Most of my plants are dying from neglect. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I hope things could change, that you can start paying more attention to these plants, that things could change, because even though they might be dying, a little attention might wake them back up. You know, they might be dying today, but a little attention could bring them back to life. So please don't give up. Even if it's 1 hour in the garden, give them that little attention. All right? Yes, yes, yes. It will get better. It will get better. I agree with that. So, yes, so the reason why I really mentioned that, because I know gardening could be very challenging and it could be real heartbreaking sometimes. And sometimes if you ain't got the right people around you to encourage you, you just give up. Just like any other thing. You just give up and just, walk away from it. But my thing is to encourage you not to walk away. Just keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. Do what you can. If you go in your garden, no. If you go in your garden, even though you didn't have time in your garden, and you go in your garden, now you have some time. What I will do, I will not focus on the plants that not doing well at the moment. I'm gonna focus on them to try bring them back. The ones that doing well, I'll just let them do their thing. But I will go back and focus on the one them that's struggling. Because you'll be surprised sometimes that these plants that struggling come back and do so well. So don't give up on them. Harvest mustard green today from seed jar. Oh wow. Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been harvesting mustard green like crazy. You know? So that's wonderful, F.R. Humphrey. That's wonderful. And the thing about it, they keep producing. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Glad to hear that. F.R. Humphrey. Glad to hear that. Brain health and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I like how you already have your. That's it. That's it. That's it. I planted some plants very deep as you advised, and they are the only one that are not dying. Okay, well, all right. All right. Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you very much for saying that. Because I know it works. If it wasn't working, I would have never mentioned it. Planting them deep really works. And thank you for mentioning this, because this could enlighten other people that it works. Thank you for that. You planted some plants very deep as you advised, and they're the only one that are not dying without water for weeks. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because I've been preaching this. I've been preaching this. Thank you so much. for mentioning that, Passenger South Fulton. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Because planting deep, and yes, they are doing well. I don't have to water them. That's what I'm telling you guys. You see, that's two people. I mean, how amazing! How amazing that I've been talking about these things for so long. And it proves to me that people listening to me, and that's wonderful. Because I know I don't water my plant them, period. The only time I water my plant is if there's baby and I now plant them and the sun is really hot, I will go out in the morning and wet them. Once they start growing, I done with water. I don't water them. So I know this thing works. And thank you guys. Fifi Johnny, thank you. Thank you, Cassinda South Fulton, for confirming that this actually works. Appreciate you guys. That was the best advice. Thank you, Planter. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, wow. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate it because, when I come out here and I start giving advice about growing food, it's because I already do it. I already did it. I ain't got to look for information. I already do it myself and see it work on several occasions before I come and present it to anyone. I got to see it actually work. So thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys for that. And you welcome South Fulton in the South Fulton. You are welcome. When you say plant deep, do you mean at least an inch deep? An inch? No. An inch is on the surface. An inch is on the surface. When you got to plant at least 12 inches deep. That's my depth. That's my depth. I go. I love to go 12 inches deep. If I plant something 8 inches deep, it's because I have plans to dig soil and pile around them. Other than that, they're going down 12 inches. Because I don't have no intention of coming and wet nothing. And when you look at dry weather season, 3-4 weeks without water, and these plants still stand up green as ever, blowing, and they already did 3 weeks without water. I did videos with these things. Yeah, not an inch. An inch is way too shallow. 12 inches, about this, about this, about this. That's really deep. But it does wonders for your plants. Wonders. Hola, that is so. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm hoping I'm hoping that people actually take this planting deep serious now. If you haven't planted deep before, you should take it serious now because listen to what Cassinda South Fulton now said. She wasn't in her garden. She wasn't able to attend to her plants like that. So for weeks, she wasn't able to water them. But guess what? The only one she planted deep is what's still alive. So that's proof right there. That's confirmation right there that it worked. I did many videos about that, about planting deep. Many videos. And I break it down, the reason why you should plant deep in many occasions. I know for a fact it works. Anything I come and talk here about gardening, I already did it. Numerous number of time. Numerous time. So when I present the information, I know what I'm talking about. I will not come here and talk about gardening and how to do this if I never do it. You see? So it really works. It really works. Some people, they might have, let me talk now for the people who might have, real hard clay under their soil. Just go as deep as you can. If you can't go 12 inches, just go as deep as you can. You know what I'm saying? Try to go as deep as you can. That's all. If you had this rocky hard surface underneath. And if you're doing a raised bed, let's put it this way. If your soil is really rocky and and you can't go down too deep, and you're doing a raised bed, what I will recommend, the framing that you're doing wrong, you should do it like 12 inches. 12 inches deep. So at least you could be adding soil into it, or whatever you add in, leaf, all these things to build up inside it and create this soil inside it for you. Since your soil down to the bottom is rocky. So you will have to create a soil on top of that. You see? So do it at least 12 inches. The board, that whatever you put around, at least 10 to 12 inches. What I'm doing is the information I give is long-term information, not short-term. It's long-term information. I will try to post a video on tomorrow to prove that. Thank you. Oh wow, that will be wonderful, Cassinja South Fulton. That will be wonderful. If you able, I will appreciate it. If you able, I will appreciate it. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I do plant deep. It was something he said. True choice of words that threw me off a bit. Okay. Okay. Yes, guys. So you want to be doing garden, and while you're doing garden, you want your garden to be successful. You want to have a successful garden year. You want to have your plants them producing in abundance. You want to have whatever you plant just keep producing for you until that coolness come down. You know? So in order for get these production, you have to take care of your plants to the best way you can. You might be able to go in your garden every day, which is one of the best thing you could ever do. But if you can't, you can't. Go in your garden every day. Spend time up in your garden. Pay attention to your plants. Them. Sometimes you go in your garden and you see a dry leaf on a plant. You just rip it out because that dry leaf is just there sucking from the plant. Even you know what I'm saying? It's sucking from the plant instead of helping. You're growing tomatoes. And when you look at a certain time, when you start harvesting, sometimes your tomato leaf will start to fade like getting dry. That doesn't mean the plant is dying. That's the old leaf. Get rid of them. Pruning, pruning your tomato leaf is a really good idea. It's a very good idea. And the way I plume my tomatoes, I don't plume it direct to the limb. I leave the limb that I'm cutting, I leave a stalk at least half inch hanging. Instead I cut it right at the start the limb, I leave at least half inch. And to me, I don't know for anyone else. To me, that works really well. You see, this is why in gardening you got to be doing things and trying things to get the best out of what you're doing and the most out of what you're doing. This is why I always say every year, every day, I go in my garden, I learn something new because I go to learn something new. You see, I went in the garden trying to looking to learn something new because you could never stop learning in gardening. You could never. So always be open to learn something and always be open to try something new in your garden. All right. My elevated planter bed is only 14 inches deep. Will that? No, that's perfect. 14 inches deep is beautiful. That's some good depth you have right there. Yeah, that's good. It will work. It definitely will work. Yes, that will work. My tomato plant are doing great. Has fruit on it. They are in grow by. Oh wow! Start producing fruits. That's wonderful. Okay, mine's now pushing out blossom. That's wonderful, George Shoot. You soon start eating tomato non-stop. Hmm, that's wonderful. Yes, guys. So pruning tomato is important because also the airflow, that especially if you have a lot of tomato, you need a breeze because sometimes the leaf them get so damp and start to create fungus on the pepper tree and the tomato tree. So it's best to clip them and allow the air able to blow through them. That saves the leaf from getting fungus and look this kind of way. Also, squash. I'm not sure if everybody's harvest prune squash leaf. I'm not sure if everyone do that, but I do that. And the reason for me doing that, because sometimes if you ain't do that, sometimes the leaves start turning a certain color, and sometimes even the squash itself, you see this kind of mold fungus start eating down the squash. It's like a fungus just hold on the squash and start doing whatever it's doing to the squash. So, you see what I'm saying? So by pruning them helps the air to flow through them and save them from the mold situation. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Yes, sorry for that, guys. Yes, so fungus is thing that you wanna eliminate from your garden too. So the airflow could help eliminate that because many times you growing squash, I've seen it before. It happened to me before. So that's why I can speak about it. Where I'm growing squash and the leaf them is so beautiful and they just growing even zucchini as well. The leaf them is so big and powerful, and you just, you just leave them and you just ain't paying too much attention to them. The next thing you go, you see underneath where the squash is. You see a little squash there. Next thing you see, like a fungus take over the squash. And sometimes when you prune the zucchini, you see a pool of water run out of. When you cut it, you see a pool of water cut out. So that tells you you really need to give them air, because that water could really make the fungus destroy your food. And we're not trying to grow food and let fungus destroy them. So this is why I'm mentioning all these things, that people could actually be aware of pruning their stuff. Wait, I think I have a video with that. Should I show that video? Oh man, let me see. Yes, the powder. Yes, it mess with your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me read this. I'm not sure if I can find it, but let me see. I have a video that shows you that. Let me see. Man, that's a video they way back. I'm not even sure if I can find it. It wasn't. It was last year. Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. But yes, but it's important to prune them, because if you don't, what does happen is they get mildew and they spoil and then now you come where you losing. You actually losing your food crop. You don't want to do that. Okay, let me see. And there's so much video. I know for find where that one is, but I'm gonna try. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's very important for prune your plants then. Okay, I find the one with the tomato explaining about the tomato plant. So let me see if I can show that one instead. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Share screen. Well, I'm back with another video. And this video gonna be about pruning tomato plant. Because I have some tomato plant right here, and I'm going to prune them. So I want you guys to see how I prune my tomatoes. Okay. All right. So as you can see, right, the tomato have on some really beautiful tomato, as you can see. And what is going on now, these leaves really don't matter to the tomato anymore. Okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut these leaves to the bottom, so you're going to create a more airflow. Go through here, and they're going to make the tomato plant focus on the tomato itself. Okay? So if you take these off, it's not harming the plant. What it's doing, it make the plant focus on the tomato itself instead of these leaves. So I'm going to prune this whole area over here that you can see. You see how it looking bushy? You're going to see the big difference after. This limb, you don't want to mess with this limb. You have to know exactly which one to prune. This one, you do not prune this one, you prune this one. Okay? This one as well. You can prune this one as well. You cannot prune those that going up. Because you see like this one, look at this one here. This one, you're going to need this one, but this one, you really don't need it. So you can just cut all these bottom leaf, which going to create a more flow going up into to the plant itself, okay? So here we go again. This is another plant, and it have a nice bunch of tomato over there. All right, nice bunch of tomato. So now I'm going to focus on cutting off these big limbs, because these big limbs takes a lot from the plant itself. And also create an airflow that the plant can get more air. So all these leaves only on the plant, draining the plant, when you could get rid of them and get bigger tomatoes at the same time. So over here again, you're gonna do the same thing here. We only pluming the leaf. You gotta know which leaf to prune. You cannot just go and just cut in any leaf, okay? All right, so let me break it down a little again for you. These leaves, you can get rid of these. If you notice right in this area, it pushing out small limbs. So right here, you can cut it right there, and you can cut it right here. So you're really not harming the plant by getting rid of these limbs. I believe you stand a better chance getting bigger tomatoes by doing this. Pruning your tomato plants. Okay, so here we go again. We have some nice sized tomato here again. So what we do, we cut this limb. Be careful and know what limb you cut in. You cannot just cut any limb, because you could cut a limb that producing tomatoes. So you got to be very careful. All right. So all these I cut. So let's go around the other side now. All right, guys. Okay, guys, that was just an idea of how I prune. Um, right. That's just a way I prune my tomatoes and be very successful harvesting tomatoes. It's like, like every couple days, you could go in with a bowl and come back out with a bowl of tomatoes. So it's a good thing. I really think it's a good thing good way to deal with your tomato. Like John Street 67, you say you have tomato producing right now. I hope that video could help you to give you a more understanding of what leaf you need to cut and what leaf you don't need to cut, because that's important as well. But these big older leaf, you really don't need. The plant don't need them. They only hanging on and draining from the plant, and also creating mildew and all these fungus on the plant. But if you remove these leaves, it creates a better airflow, and then the plant able to focus more on the fruits instead of these leaves that's hanging on them for no purpose. All right? I use water and baking soda for powder mildew, and it work on my tomato and leafy green. Okay, all right. You got to do what you got to do, but I try to eliminate the situation. I try not to see, because yes, it used to it happened before, but since I realized what is really taking place, I start trying to avoid it instead. I got to fix it. But you got to do what you got to do and use whatever you got to use to get rid of it, because at the end of the day, you're trying to eat something. You're trying to eat. You're not trying to let fungus take over your plants. Hey, GT Junior, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, so it's all about production. I believe in production. I don't believe in just growing food without production. I believe in production. I believe in getting the most out of a plant. Because you'll be surprised how much one plant can give you. You'll be surprised. But it still goes on how you deal with this plant, the care you give the plant. You see what I'm saying? Listen, it takes a lot of work. Guys, I did a harvest. I don't know if you guys see, and I already start harvesting garlic already. You see what I'm saying? Already start harvesting garlic. All you got to do is take care of your plants, and these plants will give back so much to you. I'm not one of the guy who settle for two like a tomato on a plant. No, I try to get the most out of that plant, because let me tell you the thing about plants. The thing about plants have a way. Plants have a way that there's fruits will be ripening, there's fruits will be on their way for ripening, and there's flowers will be coming at the same time. Blossom. Then you have small pepper. So 4 different stage. You could see on top of a pepper tree, a tomato tree, a okra tree. 4 different stage. Ripe one. There's some almost ready to ripe. There's little baby one, and there's flowers. This is how your plant's supposed to look all during the year, straight down to the last frost. That's how your plant's supposed to look. But guys, I will tell you, it comes with extra care. It comes with, you will have to take care of them. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you do, you will be harvesting. When I'm growing peppers and okras, tomato, every 2 days, I could come out with a bowl full of pepper, a bowl full of okra. Because that's how it's supposed to be. While plant food is ready, there should be food almost getting there for ready. There should be baby food, small little one, and flowers. So you should be seeing 4 stages on your plant. 4 stages. The flowers, the one that now come out from the flower stage, the one that half the way, and the one that ready for harvest. So 4 stage. Anyhow you see 4 stage on your plant, you know you're doing something good. You know you did what you're supposed to do. Anyhow you're able to see 4 stages on your plants, you know you did something right. And this ain't no joke, guys. You're supposed to see 4 stages on your plants. And that's no joke. Okay. I have fruits and flowers on. Wonderful. You have fruits and flowers on? Okay. So because you now start. So that's a good thing. You now start. But the more it prolong, when by the time you're ready to harvest these fruits, them that reach flowers gonna be half the way of harvest. Then you're supposed to be seeing smaller ones. Then you're supposed to be seeing flowers coming behind the smaller one. So fourth stage you're supposed to be seeing. But right now it's still early for that Jones shoot 67. It's still early for that. But very soon you should be seeing that stage. Once you see that, guys, you know you did something right. You ain't want to see your plants and produce some fruits, and then you ain't seeing no flowers, you ain't seeing no small one. That's it. That's it. One crop and that's it. No. Four, you should be having flowers, babies, half the way and ready to harvest. If you're able to do that, you're able to harvest in abundance throughout the year. Because while you're harvesting, some coming in, and it just continue rolling over all through the summer, all through the fall, until, you know, when the frost hit, the last frost hit, you know, my food does get spoiled from that because they're still young. You know, my flowers does get damaged because they're still young. They didn't turn fruit as yet. That's how. That's what you're supposed to look for. That's what you're supposed to work to accomplish. So yes, it's gonna take some walks. But I give you guys all the information for that already. Listen to me. I've been sharing every Thursday night. Every Thursday night. From last year. All the whole garden season last year. From about March around there. Last year. I've been coming on every Thursday and giving information about garden. How to grow your stuff. Then I do videos. Then I show videos, show all the steps. I show most of the harvest. How the garden does produce. So I've been giving this. I'll tell you guys, you see, Fifi Johnny and Cassie in the South Fulton no mention with the information they get from me and what happened. So yes, I've been giving this information for a while now. But I'm not sure if people really paying attention. But anything I talk about when come on gardening, I already did it. So I know for a fact that it works. Yeah, I already do it. Already did it. So yes, there's ways you can get your plants to produce continuously. And the next thing again, I don't use fertilizer, I don't use chemicals, so I don't know, maybe that might be a difference as well. I also show people how to make the compost, what to use to create organic compost that could build your soil in a long term. So the information is there. Tons of information. I have over 1,000 videos on this channel with tons of information about gardening. Yeah. So you want production, you will have to put in the work. You want your plants them to produce well, you will have to put in the work. I'm not satisfied with my plants produce one harvest and that's it, and then just dry down and no. Give them what they need at that young stage. Produce them. You know what I mean? Keep the soil nice and soft for them. That them young baby root could grow and do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So while you're doing that, your plant's just growing. The, let me let me tell you something. Okay. Thank you, Planter, for all the information. All right. Take care. You have a blessed night. All right. Let me tell you something. If you have a plant, right? If you have a plant and the root of the plant is not actually growing, like you have it in a container, you have the plant in a container and the root of the plant spread and jam in the surface of the container, right? You ain't gonna get much from that plant. And we got to understand that. You would not get much from that plant. You might get a crop. This is why I always say invest in, if you're buying container, invest into bigger container. Container not big enough. Don't try to put a peppercina in a little container. Like what do you expect to really get from that peppercina? You see what I'm saying? What do you really expect to get from putting a okra plant in a small little container? What do you expect to get from a fruit tree that's still in the container you bought it into? What do you really expect to get from that? You see? So the size of the container do matter. Yeah, it matters. The size of the container plays a big role. Guys, let me close my door. Give me a minute. I don't know. Always leaving my door. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. The size of the container do works, guys. So always pay attention. And you should always look at the size of, you should always pay attention to the root of the plant as well. And if you could get to see the size of the root, that can help you determine the size of the container you need. So what I will say, you cannot get anything much out of a plant that's in a container that's not big enough to house the root of the plant. You cannot get much from that. Do you ever buy a plant or a fruit tree and when you pull it out, you see the root already just wrap around the plant? Just wrap around. Do you guys see that? How it just wrap around the plant? Container is not big enough. I see people still growing, I see people buy fruit trees and the container that the fruit tree come into, they still have it in that same container. You can't get much from that. And that's where we got to understand. The size of the container do matter when it come on gardening. So yes, guys. Well, as always, I hope tonight able to motivate someone about growing their own food. I hope the information we share tonight was able to touch somebody tonight who, if they're not even gardening, able to help them to get their mind together to say, all right, let me start gardening. And right now it's not too late, guys. There's so much things you still could plant at this moment. It's not too late. The tomato plant that has fruits is in a 10-gallon bag. I'm thinking it should have been in a bigger bag. Well, a 10-gallon bag. Maybe I think that will work, George. Sure. I think that will work. The 10-gallon bag for tomato root. Yes, I think that will work. I think that's a good bit of room for that tomato plant to go. Because this is why when you harvest, in harvest time, this is why when the winter come and hit the plants then, this is why it's always good to pull up the root. Pull it up just to see how far that root did spread. Just to see how big the root is. So that could help you to get a more understanding of which size you should plant them into next. So at the end of the season, when you're taking it out, you should pull it up and look into it, look at the root and see how far does it spread. So you know if you could continue using that or you need a big one. But I do believe a 10-gallon is pretty good for a tomato plant. Yeah, I do believe that. Okay. All right. 50 10-gallon is good. I go. Okay. So she grow in 5-gallon and you grow in 10. So you have bigger bags than her. So, and she says she produce plenty. So that space is definitely 10-gallon is pretty a good size. Yeah, that's definitely a good size. So does anyone have any question before we end? If you have any question about gardening, let me know. Put a question mark by the side of it. Let me know if you have any question. And guys, when come on gardening, don't feel any question is not. You know, some people feel like they wanna ask question, but they feel if they ask a question, it's like it's gonna take some. No, no, it wouldn't take anything away from you. At the end of the day, if you don't know something, you don't know. So if you ask question, you might able to learn something. So sometimes it's best we just, ask a question. Don't feel like you might look like some people feel like if they ask a question, they're gonna make them, how to put it? I want to say, but make them feel any, like, because people like judge you too. So yes, oh, that's a dumb question. Why they asking that question? No, it might be a dumb question to you because maybe you might know, but to the person who don't know, it ain't a dumb question. Okay. Do you know much about leaf mold planter? Yes, kind of. Because I remember leaf mold. I was talking about it a little. What used to happen, why I used to have leaf mold is I wasn't pruning my plants them like that. I used to just love see them big, fluffy looking leaf. Because they make your garden look so nice. But when I do look underneath, I realize I start seeing the mold on my zucchini and my squash them. So what I do, I just start pruning them from the time I see leaf, I start pruning them. From the time I see the star, I start pruning them that the air could, flow through and keep, because, more love coldness, more love dampness. So by eliminating these big leaves that's just there hovering over, creating that dampness, keeping out the sun, yes, it was creating that leaf mold. But since I start walking on them and get rid of them leaf, I don't really have the problem. You know, so I used to deal with it, but now I overcome it by pluming. I don't know if that answers your question, GT, but that's what I know. Hey, Mike, how you doing? What's going on? I wish I had known about deep planting before. I planted my bush beans and mustard trees. Okay, well, it ain't too late. Anything you grow, plant after, you know definitely choke them extra little deep. You get way more better result in that farm. Just got in. Oh, just got in from the. Oh, Mike, you start outside. You start your garden outside now, Mike. That's cool. I need soil. I have more plants than soil. What happened with your soil, GT? What happened? You got to buy soil? I add cocoa coir. Boy, the honest truth is, I can't talk about soil that, these kind of soil. I don't even know. I try not to even think about them. So you go have to ask somebody who know about these things. When you talk about organic, then I can really answer some question. All right. Why is my tomato plant turning yellow? Why? Okay, okay, Sandra living a full life. All right. Where do you have your tomato, in a container or in the ground? Is it in a container or in the ground? That one for Sandra living a full life. Is the tomato in a container or in ground? I don't know what else to add besides those things. Okay. Now listen to me. Do you have leaf? You see, let me tell you, the thing is with gardening, you can't get result overnight. And it's best you just do things the right way, a certain way, so you're gonna run into a long term, because all these things I really can't refer to them. I can't give no information about them. But if you able to get some leaf and put them in a corner, man, that could help you out really well. Okay? Get some leaf, put them in a corner and just allow them. Let it break down. That can help you. That's the only thing I can tell you to add to your soil. Yes, 669. Oh, wow. Okay. I started lots of start from seed. Okay, that's good. So you planted them in containers, right? And how big is the container? Because I got to know all these things so I could able to at least say something. Is the container big enough? Is a 5 gallon, 10 gallon, or less? Because if like we was now saying, if the container too small, that's a problem. Then that could be one problem. Then the soil you have in the container, that could be another problem again. You see, so that could be, those two aspects could be where your tomato plant is turning yellow. It could be the soil you have, and it could also be the size of the container, and it could be the water How much you watering? Is you doing too much or you not doing enough? These are the things that can help create yellow leaf on tomatoes. Let me see what she put. I planted onion and garlic, 600. Damn! 600 bow to the top pest. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot, Mike, for real. I like the song of it though. When you talk about planting, yes, that make me get excited. You know what I mean? I like the song of that. 600. Like the song of that. Leaf, mold, and manure. Oh, wait, hold on, GT. What are you talking about? Using the mold, the leaf to rotten and turn to compost. You mean, is that you talking about? Well, if it's that you talking about, yeah, hell yeah. I know a whole lot about that. I have over 10 years experience of that, if that's what you're talking about. I heard. Okay. Tomato are heavy feeders, so maybe there is a lack of nutrient in the container. That's what, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be the soil. It's many things it could be. But I don't just really want to point out what it is, one thing, because I don't know for sure if it's that, so I rather call out several things that you could be aware. I can't just say, oh, it's the soil. Oh, no, it's the container. No. Could be the soil, the container, the watering. You got to look in this angle. 10-gallon and 5-gallon container. We have had a lot of rain too. Okay. So now container is good. So it could be the soil and also could be watering. Because I see with my own eyes already what too much water do to plant to tomato in containers. So it's either could be a soil or it can be the watering or it could be too much water. I could give these option right now. Is it in sun? Is it getting enough sunlight? That as well. That's another part again. Is it getting enough sunlight? I'm giving you these options so you could look into them. Because I don't want to just point out one thing for you because I'm not even seeing them. I'm just hearing. So I don't want to just point out, oh, it's the soil, oh, it's the water, oh, it's the container. No, I'm giving you these options. So look in and maybe that can help you out. All right? Oh, you're talking about manual. Okay, well, give me 1 second. Oh yeah, sorry for that, guys. Yes, leaf mold GT. Do that's what I transform my garden with. Leaf and grass clipping and like the body of tree trunk. And it really works. it I can tell you it works. But like I said, you can allow it to break down. And if you put some soil on top of it, it breaks down way faster than if you just leave it in a corner there. If you put dirt on it, it breaks down really fast. So yes, leaf is what I use in my garden. And I'm sure you see how my garden operates. So yes, leaf mold is one. I will recommend that to anyone. It's one of the best out there. For real. Oh yeah. Right. That's a good one to Mike. With all the water could be done exactly. That's a good idea to Mike. That's a good idea. And leaf also turn into good manure, good compost. Really good manure and compost. Yes. I feed my tomato with a handful of compost and vegetable fertilizer. What is veggie fertilizer? What is veggie fertilizer? Help me out here, please. On top and the soil water in plants are doing great. Okay. Help me out. What is veggie fertilizer? I believe is the soil because the ones in the ground are fine. Right. Okay. Okay. I water them with five. What is okay? 511. I don't know about these things. I really can't tell. I can't say too much about these things. 511 because I really don't use them, so I cannot give no information on them at all. Since my yard is partial shade, my tomato plants get sun a few hours, then shade, then sun. That's pretty good. They're still getting sun throughout the day. That's wonderful. Hey Cindy Place, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? I actually got to catch one. Yeah, I know, right? Thank you for being here. Yeah, so this you see the thing, and this is what I always say, guys. You have to pay attention to what's going on in your garden, wrong your plant. You have to pay attention because this is what gonna make you learn. You see, and just like you in school, when you're in school and you teacher, you gotta pay attention or everything just blowing over your head. So when you grow in these things, you have to pay attention. That's how you're gonna learn, and you have to try things. You see, you gotta try see if there's a plant that love water and or if it don't love water. So these are things you have to know in gardening. But guys, don't get things because it take time. Okay? What I'm saying here, it take time. Everything is not gonna happen overnight. But I just don't want you guys to give up on growing your own food. Don't give up at all. There's a lot of benefit in growing your own food, your own herbs. Don't give up. Just go in it with an open mind. And with an open mind, it's gonna make you learn more and more. You see, willing to learn and don't close your mind and believe you know everything. Because in gardening, you never know everything. In gardening, you never stop learning. It's a continuous thing. You learn new things, especially if you open up your mind to learning. I just believe in growing food and get the most out of it. Grow them natural and get the most out of them. That's my thing. Grow them natural and get the most out of them at the same time. Fertilizer specifically made for vegetable. The fertilizer made especially for vegetable and okay, all right. Okay, I understand. Okay, so they made it for vegetable. Okay. Can I tell you what I use for fertilizer? What I use for fertilizer, I pull up the weeds in my garden, throw them in a container of water, and leave them for 30 days. Then I use that. That's my fertilizer. The weeds that grows in my garden, I pull off their head, break some few limbs from my elderberry, or pull up the weed, throw them in a container with water, cover it down really well for 30 days. That's fertilizer right there. And it do well. That's organic fertilizer. That's the one I use. But I'm not telling you not to use that one. I'm just telling you the one I use. Do you use only leaf? Do it works for container too? Really would like. Okay, it will work for everything. But when you're using it in container, you cannot show too much. But what I will do, I will add some leaf every year in that container. You see? Because we're gonna happen, like for instance, if you go in and plant food, if you go in and plant food in the spring, in the fall, what you should do, you should have some leaf in your container with some soil on top of it and just leave it outside all through the winter. Just leave it. Then you mix it up in the spring and you just plant. Even though you see leaf while you make, don't worry about it. Just keep planting. They're gonna break down and they're gonna add nutrients and they're gonna add mineral. They're gonna add these things, organic matter to your soil. That's your plant need. So yes, you should also add a few in your container as well. I think it is a good idea. I use cross leaf in my raised bed and containers. That's a good way too. If you could crush them, that make it easier for breakdown. If you're able to crush them, it's way easier to break down than the actual whole leaf. So that's a good idea, Cindy's place. If you could get them crushed, that's a good way because that break them down really fast. A simple tip to plant to fertilize and previous seasons so it will give the natural material time to break down. That's how I do it. A simple tip to plant to fertilize. What kind of fertilizer? Oh, okay, that's your same. Okay, okay. So basically, that's what I keep saying. Get your containers, your raised bed, everything together in the fall. In the fall, and just leave it. Nature will do its work and break that down for you. So by the spring, all you got to do some mixing and planting. But I do believe walking from the spring, the fall is the best thing you can do. So you're preparing your container or your raised bed ahead of time. Instead of you waiting for the spring, in the spring that you know adding leaf and stuff in your container, I think it's best to do that in the fall. So Fifi says she do hers in the previous season. So it will give natural material. Okay. Okay. I have bucket with leaf and water too, but I still use water from the faucet too. Well, I wouldn't tell no one what to do with when come and water, where to use. But I don't water my plants. So, well, you do container. The difference with container, you could contain the difference with containers and in-ground. In-ground, the sun don't be penetrating around. The is only penetrate on top. But in the container, the sun is beating the container on the top, on the side, even on the bottom. It's feeling the heat. So you have to wet them. You definitely have to wet them. So if you're using rainwater, that's good. If you got to use water from the pipe, you just got to do what you got to do. You just got to do what you got to do. I have it. You have a bucket with leaf and water too. Okay, okay. I definitely have to try that fertilizer. It's free. It's free. That's the one I use. I mean, it worked well for me. For me, I only got to speak for myself, you know. Natural material like leaf, weed, bushes after harvest season is over, and I add my own chicken compost. That's cool. You see, them is this is what I'm saying. Natural stuff will break down, and you know what? It will break down so fast you wouldn't believe. You know, sometimes people, oh no, these leaves gonna take too long. No, you'll be surprised. You know, I put a rotten tree trunk under my raised bed. I dig out a area and I buried a big rotten tree trunk inside there. And that thing break down so fast I couldn't believe. The whole body of the tree trunk. So don't believe, especially if it have dirt. If it have dirt cover it, oh, it make it way easier. If it exposed, it's gonna break down, but it's gonna take way more time. If it's covered with soil, listen to me, you would not believe how fast that break down. I chop up, I chop last fall plants after harvest and let sit with fall leaf in my beds, bags over. Definitely. What I do with whatever I pick up on my garden, what I do, I pull them out and I throw them in my compost. And I leave them there to break down. You see what I'm saying? So I have my compost pile where everything I pick up, I'm gonna trade in there for breakdown because I have so much leaf. You see what I'm saying? I could just go around and just rake leaf and just cover the whole place with leaf. You see, so much trees dropping leaves. So what? And I just love leaf. You know, I just love the way the leaf. I just love the way the leaf walk into your soil. You see, so I personally more use the leaf and spread them over my raised bed and them. You know what I mean? And them thing I have my compost pile where I put there, where I put leaf. I also put leaf. I also put grass clipping that I pull up. It really works. But these things that you pulls up, some people say don't pull them up. I pull them up. Some people say just no, just leave them. No, I pull them up. And it's a good idea to spread them right back in your raised bed right there. It's a good idea. Especially if you spread them and put a little dirt over them, it make them break down even faster. Like your okra, like your peppers, like whatever. Whatever you grow, you could put it right back in your raised bed. Yes, it's a good idea. But I just love the leaf. That's the thing. I just love the leaf. You can still do it without chicken compost if you don't have. Right, if you don't have it, if you don't have the chicken compost, You don't have to, because I don't use it. But if you have it, chicken compost is a, trust me, chicken compost, it's a really good compost, good manure. Especially, if you feed, especially you feed a chicken with organic food, that's a real good compost for it. It is. But if you don't have it, as Fifi say, you don't have to worry, because I don't have it, and I don't, I just stick to my leaf and stuff. But if I was growing chicken and feeding them with organic food, I definitely would have be using the chicken manual. I would have. I do the same. Okay, that's that. Okay. I have to water every day because I'm in the desert. I'm understand. I understand. I have to drive my truck to a town nearby and ask people for leave. I don't have leave. Oh, okay, I understand. I understand. I am afraid of Solomon, and what is that? But anyhow, this is garden season, guys. Please don't get discouraged, even though you might have a situation going on. Just try go something. And I will show, I will, you know what? Let me see if I find a video that can show you guys about the leaf itself. Give me a second, guys. Okay, give me 1 second. How you guys doing today? I just want to show you guys a video of how I make my
Check out
raised
this
bed
video, guys.
and how
This
I
video is
how I
how
use
I
for
use how I used
compost.
up my leaf.
I use these leaves and I place them in the bed. Okay. Then I put the dirt over it, and then I leave it, so the rain, the sun, the coldness, everything gonna be rotten in this leaf over a period of time. Then this same leaf gonna become compost. Okay, so now this is a raised bed that I have here. This is an area right here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this leaf and I'm going to spread it all over. Okay, so just like how you see I do this with all the leaf, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add the dirt on top of it. So over a period of time, this gonna become compost for the plant. So this is all I use, and I also use rotten wood, which I'm gonna show you as well. So This is how you can get all the nutrients and all the minerals and everything from your vegetables. Why? Because you're using stuff that comes from the earth, that comes from nature. When you add the pesticide and other things, to me, my opinion, I think it mess with the soil and also the plant. That's my opinion. Everybody else have their own opinion. But to me, this is how I plant organic. So I'm gonna put some dirt and add on top of this. Then I'm gonna show you the end result of it. I also gonna show you guys some plants that I have in the garden, which is organic, which is the same way I prepare this bed, is the same way I prepare the other bed. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to dig the dirt from this area and I'm gonna add it on top of there and so when you do like this, you ain't got to add no manual to this for at least another 2 years. This gonna maintain this garden, this the vegetables for this year, then for the next year, these leaves gonna be rotting, decaying, and start feeding for the next crop.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in 90 seconds. This simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight to eliminate all mosquitoes around you is taking America by storm. An ingenious college student from Utah just turned the pest control industry upside down. With a device that eradicates
So now this is the raised bed. So this raised bed already prepared for the spring. And after this crop, this spring, next season, you wouldn't have to add no fertilizer, no manure, nothing. This will maintain your plants in this area for a few years. Okay? So this is how I grow my vegetables. I only use things from the earth. I'm not sure if everybody have access to stuff like this, but this is very important. When you plant like these, you get the full nutrient. You get what you're supposed to get from the plant. And the earth will always be
rich and nice instead of dry with no substance inside of it. So this is very important. So you guys see what I did here. I add the bush underneath, then I add the dot on top, and I'm gonna just leave it here. A lot of people add different things like eggs, all different things to break down the leaves. But I don't know if you ever add garbage in a can and go back to the garbage, and when you go, you see all kind of bacteria and all kind of thing living coming out of the garbage. So I try to stay away from those things because I just want a nice clean garden. I want to create no parasite and insect in the garden, so I do not add these products, eggs and nothing. I allow nature to break it down for itself. So now I'm going to show you guys a few things that I plant this same way. All right. Okay. This bed, I did this bed the same way. These are collard greens, collards. Okay, all these is collards coming down here. And they're growing, as you can see, they're growing pretty decent. Okay, nothing added. Same process like what I show you there. It's the same thing I did here. And even here. Okay, these are collards as well. Over here now. Over here, this is broccoli. All right, these broccoli already start producing already. If you could look here, watch. You can see they already start producing and they look as healthy as possible. These are
Definitely being impressed.
All right, guys. All right, guys. That video definitely break down and shows you what I'm talking about. You know, I'm so excited that I made these videos because now I can show this video that exactly break down the action of how I do it. Because I could be speaking about it, but actually showing what I'm doing is way more eye open than anything. So that video basically shows you what I do over this is why you see this is the thing, guys. The thing with me, I don't come here and just talk. What I'm telling you is what I'm actually doing. Like I tell you, I only use leaf. I'm showing you what I'm using. I plant deep. I show you what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? This video breakdown and shows you the process of my garden. So when I do this the year before, like I always mention start your garden in the fall. Don't wait till the spring. Start it in the fall so your soil these things you add in got time to break down and able to feed your plant. So this video really break it down and shows you the process of my garden and how I operate, what I do. And I also show you the plants them that actually growing there, same process. That's all happening in that area. This soil was red clay. Do you guys understand red clay? Red clay is this kind of soil. I'm not saying you cannot grow food in red clay. You can. I'm not saying that. But these leaves, and I don't care what nobody say about pine straw, You will have to prove. I don't know what you could do for proof to me to tell me pine straw ain't good for soil. You see what I'm saying? Pine straw, oak leaf, maple leaf, that's wonderful leaf for your soil. And no, you can't see red clay in my garden. You can't see red clay. Because that same process you see I do there is what I do every year. And I also add the weeds that I pull up out the garden. I also add them. Then I have my compost pile that I add leaf and these things. So that's what I take sometimes. I go to the bottom of the compost pile, scrape it out, and use that manure and put around my plants then. So my garden is organic. I don't use any nothing. The only thing, leaf, the body of the tree trunk, like tree trunk, the limbs that drop from a tree trunk, I will take them, put in my compost. I will take them, put that under my raised bed. The weeds that grows up in my garden, that's all. So when people tell you you can't grow an organic garden, don't bother with anyone. That's not true. You can. You definitely can. So I hope that video explained, take it to another level of what I was now saying about leaf and what I do with the leaf. I'm hoping that that video, and if you guys have patience, I could find a video, another video where I find some real good compost. If you guys have patience, if you guys ain't ready to go. But let me go in the chat first. Okay. I compost chicken dropping for at least 6 months. Wanted to make sure it stays hot until. Okay, all right. I did a video if you. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Well, Fifi use chicken, so if you want to learn about chicken compost, I guess she could help you out with that. I don't use that, so I can't give too much information about it right now. I know we used to use it back in the time, and I know it was very good. Also, rabbit compost is another good one. I wouldn't worry if I was buying manual, but thankfully I won't be doing that. Happy I can be. What is better than the old? I do the see. Okay, all right. I will go and watch it. Okay, yes, you could definitely go and check out that video and listen to me. If you really want to learn about growing food the organic way, the natural way, without have to buy any kind of thing, I'm telling you, you at the right place. Because my garden designed for not to spend money. Grow food without spending money. That's how it designed. I did more in-depth video last year on the process. Okay. Thanks for the information at Fifi. The temperature of the chicken reach. Yes. You need information about compost. You go to Fifi because about chicken. She grow chicken. She have the means of using the compost, and she understand. You can't use it too hot. That's the next thing. You can't just take chicken compost from out the chicken and throw on your plants. That's right. That's why I said plant to 40. Yes. This previous season, yes. Make a lot of sense. If you want to instant fertilizer, use rabbit or poo. Okay. All right. So, okay, Mike, say if you need instant, you got to go to rabbit. Okay. Okay. Like I'm way back behind the chat, boy. My goodness. I have never used. Okay. All right. Okay. That's true, Mike. So why don't just drop the link, Fifi? Drop the link of the video that they can see with the composting. Put the link of the video in the chat that they can see the video. You're welcome, you're welcome. Can I layer the leaf on the soil I used this year in my grow bag and leave them? Yes, definitely. Definitely. That leaf is we're gonna bring back that soil. You know, add back the nutrients and mineral up inside your soil. Yes, you could definitely do that. Okay, I'm going to look for, if you guys wanna wait, I can go for another video and show you guys another way if you have access to these things, how you can get really, really good compost. And these are the things I use. Okay, I'm going to give me a minute, all right? You know what? Okay, let me find a video. All right. I'm gonna find a video. Okay. Let's see. Yes, gardening is, you just got to put your mind to gardening. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put your mind to gardening. It's a wonderful thing, guys. It really is. But there's a lot of ways you can get natural resource out there. Let me show you guys this video. Okay, give me, okay, all right. Check this one out, guys. This is one I'm showing you guys how you can actually find compost if you have access to this, you know.
All right. You see all, you see all this? Okay, let me see this. This is a rotten tree trunk that I leave. I take okay. You see, guys, when you add this kind of stuff to your garden, you know what I'm saying? This is natural product you adding. Okay, guys, so this is the compost. I just want to show you guys how I think you guys should really do your container garden. How to do your container. No, this is a compost. This is rotten tree trunk. You see where I get it? You see how I get it? All this is rotten tree trunk. You see? Sometimes when you buy the stuff, you see these and they feel tough. But these already start breaking. You see? Already start breaking down. So this is not dirt. This is not dirt. This is compost. Okay? So now I'm gonna put this right there and I'm gonna leave it. Now I'm gonna get some dirt. Okay. So now I'm gonna break this up, break the dirt up. Okay, so now you have compost and you have dirt. Instead of you just using the dirt, you have compost with the dirt. So now we're gonna mix both of them together. Even though you buy the compost from the store, that's fine. But you should always add some dirt to it and mix it up. Now, don't know if you know, this is some rich soil. The soil already has minerals and then a nutrient for the plant.
All right. All right. Okay, guys. So you see, that's the kind of stuff my garden build off. That's the kind of stuff my garden build off. So and you see, it's so much. It's some, the honest truth, guys. I have so much videos out there. So much informational videos out there that, trust me, every video I put out there is some kind of information I put out there because I want to see people succeed, especially the new gardeners, man. I know, it's hard to start from scratch. So creating these videos could help people actually. So when I tell you I don't buy nothing to put in my garden, is the truth. Because as you see the way how I deal with my garden, I go and get a rotten tree trunk, scrape it out, and that compost become, and you throw that around your plant, you joking. You joking. You joking. So this is what my channel is about. Help, motivate, and help people to want to grow. You know what I'm saying? Make it easier for people to grow because all these things, I already know these things already. Yes. Like I keep saying, I'm over 10 years ahead of what I'm showing today. The information I know about plants and gardening right now is the basic I'm showing. It's the basic I'm talking about. The things I know about plants and soil. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Okay, guys, that's the link for Fifi Journey video. I think with the chicken poop, so you guys could check that out. All right, her compost video. That's the link for our compost video. That's yeah, that's what this is what, and you know, this is what I'm saying. This is what I try to show. I try. It's no, I really don't show much because you know I used to go into depths and the depths, the information, and bring it, and bring it in my videos and them that I can not just talk about it. I could actually show it. And you see what I'm saying? Now I could talk about it and I could show you. And that's how, what I mean? I'm just hoping that people get motivated and figuring out, learning how they could save money and still able to grow an amazing garden. Okay. That's what I'll use that 100-gallon go back for. Okay, all right. That's what I'm going to grab from the forest. That's what you, the only thing is, man, you can't be scared going in the forest. That's the problem. Plenty people scared going in through the forest. You can't be scared. Don't be scared at all. Good stuff. Yes, man. Yes, man. I will be in the woods. Oh, man. Just be careful in the woods, brother. All right? What's the name of that video you just show us, Pat? The name of the video? Okay. All right. Let me get it for you. Hold on. Okay. That's in it. That's the video in the description right there. I promise you I ain't scared of the forest. I promise all right, all right. Okay, okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, man. There's so much you can turn to nature for and look back to nature for and be okay. You ain't gotta go out there and spend all these crazy money trying to, you're welcome, trying to, and listen to me. I don't want my garden to be pretty with all kind of stuff, spend $1,000 to decorate my garden, and at the end of the day, I can't get no harvest. You see what I'm saying? I want my garden to produce in abundance. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it works for me. Okay, but those three chunk men produce some real serious compost, real serious manure for your plants. All right? So if you have access to the leaf of the tree, that's a good thing to use. If you have access to a tree limit job in your yard, if you have access to that, you could always take these things and put them in a corner in your garden and just, allow them to break down, they become food for your plant. And you ain't got to add no meat and no blood, this and all kind of stuff for break it down. Nature will actually break it down for you really well. So yes, guys, I hope this live tonight again able to touch somebody. I hope this live able to motivate somebody in some form of the other. I hope this life can get somebody start growing something for themselves. And that's what it's all about. So yes, as we know, the topic was, let's grow some food together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make it work. If you understand, there's information you could ask. We could get together, I do live on Thursday. We could talk about food. You have a question. I don't mind answering question when come on gardening. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. If I know, I'll answer to the best of my ability. But I just want everybody to be great and have a beautiful, successful garden. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be showing anything I'm doing. I would only be showing harvest time. Okay, but that's not the key. I want people to actually learn. There's a lot of people today who really trying to get into the garden, but they don't know. So by able to show them and encourage them and teach them, that could be a good thing. So that's what I'm trying to do, guys. And don't forget, guys, I'll be live Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys have a blessed and wonderful weekend. Hope to see you guys next Thursday. And let's talk about it. All right? So thank you guys again for coming out tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. So peace, love, and blessing to each and every one of you. Have a good night, guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Fifi Johnny. Yes, keep growing. Keep growing. Oh, you living in a rental, you limited. Well, do whatever you can, sis. Whatever you can, do whatever you can. We understand if you're living in a country, in an apartment, you can't do too much, but at least you're doing something. And I'm proud of you for that. You in an apartment and still doing something, proud of you, sis. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? Peace and love to each and every one. Thank you, Fifi. Thanks each and everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you, Joan Stroud. Appreciate you guys. The forest, the forest, lion and tiger. Okay, well, stay out of there. All right, GT. All right. So thank you guys again. Appreciate you guys. All right, Cassandra Fulton. Thank you. Yep. Good thing is that we're still growing. Yep. You're welcome, Cassandra Soul Fulton. All right, guys. All right. Blessings.